So the Ghana cedi is experiencing some level of free fall, and we're being told that the central bank, its monetary policy committee is meeting, and well, they will also look at the current policy rates and how the current risk factors of doing business in Ghana will also be shored up to make sure businesses get their money's worth as far as their level of investment is concerned. We have John Gachi. He's a lecturer with the University of Cape Coast Business School, but also a financial analyst. A very good morning to you, Mr. Gachi, particularly when we've had concerns being raised by various players within the industry and also investment concerning the fall of the cedi, or the performance of the cedi against the major trading currencies. That should be a concern for the managers of the central bank.
Hello?
Well, hello. Okay, you've now come on stream. A very good morning to you, Mr. John Gachi. Now,
good morning.
If we take a look at the fall in the cedi and its performance against the major trading currencies, that should dominate discussions for the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana, right?
Yes, that is exactly
so. Why should it be of discussion as far as we're concerned with the Bank of Ghana?
Well, the major reason is that our economy is classified as an import-led economy, where we import almost everything that we consume in the country. We import intermediate goods to engage in productive activity, in construction, and even in manufacturing. In the energy sector, in mining, we import a lot. So depreciation of the currency actually increase the cost of import and dovetails into price build up, and that has the potential of increasing inflation in the country, and that can call for increase in interest rates. And all this will have their peculiar effect on the economy. You will realize that if you increase interest rates, what happens thereafter is that the debt instrument becomes very, very attractive. And when it happens that way, treasury bill, for example, become more attractive, and financial institutions begin to allocate more of their loan portfolio to invest in treasury bills, thereby starving the private sector from access to credit, increasing the cost of credit in the country. So it has a wider effect on the economy, and that can actually affect the onward movement of the economy. That is what that is particularly very important for the central bank to consider.
Now, we've always been having the talk, and I believe you and I have been having discussions over the years concerning the trade deficit that has always been confronting us as a country, and what really the policy initiative should be to make sure that we breach the current deficit. How do we tackle it in the first place?
Well, the trade deficit, especially the current account deficit, is a reflection of the level of imports that we have in the country. What it means is that if we are going to deal with that issue from the medium to long term, then it means that we should have clear policy that will encourage export. And that also means that the Ministry of Trade and Industry, together with its affiliate authorities such as the Export Promotion Authority, should be able to identify new markets, help Ghanaian exporters to get certification into this market to diversify even the destination of our export, and continue to add more value to what we are doing in the country to gain access to international market, to increase the inflow of foreign currency into the country. That is what we should be looking at. And while doing that, we need to increase our domestic productive capacity that will be able to produce more to protect the currency. But the other aspect of the entire issue of the trade deficit in the current account is that if it is not managed very well, it tends to put pressure on the currency. And that is one of the things that we are seeing. But we are lucky over the past 5 to 7 years, we are not only dealing significantly with the current account, but our portfolio account has actually increased. That means that investment in financial instruments, including government deals, have increased over the years, bringing about increase in capital inflow into the country to equity instruments and to debt instruments. But the danger inherent in that is that while you are having currency challenges, it also affects you when people ought to send their money outside the country. And in addition to that also, international development can actually derail your macroeconomic situation. For example, in 2011, November, foreign investors decided to call their investment in bonds and fixed income security earlier than expected. That put pressure on the government to pump in a lot of foreign currency to pay them. We do not know that with the new directive in the U.S. economy, where there is quantitative easing, where the dollar of bailout money will be restricted, that is likely to increase interest rates, and that may give significant indication to investors to see if they can relocate their investment into their mature economies, which are becoming more stable. So these are all dynamics surrounding this issue of the current the trade imbalance.
We do understand. We do understand those trappings and how they can have effect on the current state of the economy as we have it. But would it be an incentive in itself, perhaps, to take a better policy stand of increasing rates per se of those imports, and then make it more less attractive for those who will be importing those goods and services into the country, so to speak?
Well, there are many factors that you need to consider. Number one, you need to consider the interest of your people, because demanding foreign goods is a matter of choice. When people's income have increased and they believe that their consumption patterns should focus on what comes from outside, it is very difficult to limit them. That is one challenge that we have in the country. And if you are going to impose tariffs and import duties, etc., you must also consider that in line with what you are doing in the region. For example, your import duties should not be, very different from what is happening in Côte d'Ivoire, happening in Nigeria, etc. Because when you do that, you may be encouraging black market economy, where people will import through all this country and find their way into the country, and you may not be able to solve the problem. So these are dynamics that ought to be considered. And even some of the import duty or tariff, etc., must also be in line with the WTO conditions. So for me, it is not just an easy thing to do without considering a wider strategic approach to that issue. We do know that over the past 20 years, our export has increased. But what we are talking about, that the rate at which our export is expanding, is not the way that the import is expanding. So
definitely,
there should be a conscientious effort that will encourage value addition in the country, and that should also increase our export portfolio across the entire world. We must begin to see what we can do to deepen our trade relationships within the African continent, which is less exploited, within even the West African sub-region, which is also less exploited. These are the things that we should be doing, and that it should be a focused approach that will get into the entire national psyche and the entrepreneurial scheme within the country, so that industrialists and the private sector players can see clearly the opportunities inherent in these strategies, so that they can respond to these opportunities.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. John Gachi is a lecturer with the University of Cape Coast Business School, and thanks for speaking to us this morning on this very subject. And you're worried about the increasing rate of the dollar because the cedi is depreciating.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's so real. It is so real. It affects everything and anything. I mean, as for a price of something today, it goes up. The following day, it goes up. I mean, it's scary because I don't know how it's going to end and when it's going to end.
It's not that disaster. It always happens in economies when they have all these shocks once in a while. Yes.
It's sort of reassuring when we hear, okay, you know, it means that there's some kind of hope. But quickly, you've been sending some messages on our Facebook page. I will share a few with all of us. And this is on the National Food and Buffer Stock Company and the possible privatization of the company. And Al-Hassan T. Jamal says, Abba, everything government has no money. Why? Where do the money from our natural resources and taxes that we pay goes to? People are taking it very, very personal on Facebook. We encourage that, but please keep it decent and keep commenting on the issues that we've posted there. But, Roland, I visited the dentist yesterday. Yeah, I have a hole in my tooth. I mean, now I don't because it's in my tooth.
I thought you said have hole in heart.
No, I don't.
Hole in tooth.
Yeah, hole in tooth. Yes.
We need to have an appeal. We need to have an appeal for you then. You know, hole in heart. We have an appeal.
Okay,
we'll do a nice montage and put you on.
Thank you. But the issue is very common to a lot of us. We all suffer from these issues once in a while. I visited the dentist. I just want all of us to take a look at that and let's share. My tooth. I'm actually going through something that we all refer to as caca. And so I am coming to see the dentist for him to find out exactly what is going on in my mouth. Join me.
But in terms of medical history of importance, are you asthmatic? Are you diabetic? Sickler? Are there any medications the doctors have told you you cannot take, you react badly to? Something like that. Do you have a case, a condition where if you should go to the hospital, if you should have bleeding, or a cut, you would bleed till you get to the doctors before you're resuscitated? Is there anything of that sort you'd like us to know?
Not that I know of.
No, nothing of that.
No.
Okay. You also say you've been to a dentist before and you've had a feeling that. Did you have any complications when you had the treatment done during the anesthesia?
I've actually had 2 experiences, maybe 3. Okay, now I remember more than 3.
Okay.
I had it filled once.
Right.
But it was so painful afterwards when I got home. So I got it removed.
Okay, you had the tooth extracted.
Exactly.
Right.
That was the very first experience. Okay. That was one side of my mouth.
Okay.
And then it started with the other.
Okay.
I got it filled, but the filling came off after a while. Yeah. I hope it's not painful.
I'll give you an anesthesia, so it wouldn't be so painful. Not a general, a local. Right?
I know. I have experienced that before. When you're asking me, I was, once they give you, you're not supposed to feel the pain. And then I told the doctor that I was feeling it, and then he was like, no way.
No.
And then I complained again. And I can be a bit loud. So it was like, I don't know, I would share that kind of thing. And when the doctor came, male, when the doctor came, he realized that yes, so he gave me another one. And so he worked on me. That was when I was going to get it extracted.
No. Stay relaxed, I'm bringing you back. this the one you're talking about? Mm-hmm. The upper one. Is it the upper one? Is it the upper one?
Does it mean that I have holes in two?
No. To what extent the cavity is, and then...
Is that painful?
No, an X-ray is not painful at all. Okay. And then...
Please tell me if my tooth, as it is healthy.
No, we'll check for that.
No, are you able to see? I mean, are you able to see by just looking at them?
Not entirely. That's the X-ray. And it's going to
That's the leftover filling.
So that's the leftover filling. So I'll explain to you quickly what I see and what will have to be done. How long ago have you had this filling done?
This is 2014,
Yeah.
so sometime in 2013, I think.
You will get a sensation of pain.
Okay.
This is a mouth prop. I'm going to put it there so that you can rest your bite on it, okay? Right. In your case, it's an old filling, but in another person's case who came in for the first time, I'll be taking out the decay to prepare the cavity which will receive the canal. So this is an instrument for restoration. You can see that I'm taking them out of pouches. The pouches are called sterilization pouches. We place the instruments in the pouches before we put them into the autoclave so that they are reusable, and so it's clean and sterile and free of any infection. So you cannot pass on infections from one person to another. X-ray, I have an idea of how close the cavity is to the pulp. So as not to get into the pulp, I would have to be extremely careful in removing this filling. And even if it was a caries, if it was cavity in there, I'll still have to be extremely careful not to get into the pulp chamber. Now, because the tooth is an upper tooth, I have to use my mirror, the dental mirror, to look in reverse. So I'm actually working in reverse. It's a skill learned in dentistry. And you can see because of the anesthesia, our client is very comfortable, and we are still and to stop the bleeding on done. We have a material called hemostat. Other times, if you do not have hemostat, you just anesthetize. You anesthetize the area again with the local anesthesia. The local anesthesia contains vasoconstrictor. It's an active ingredient so the vasoconstrictor will constrict the flow of blood into the area, and then we'll achieve our hemostasis. So now the bleeding has stopped. Now, I'm going to can I have Dicol to place into. Dicol is part of the medication that is going to strengthen the pulp as well as kill the remaining bacteria in the cavity. So in an ideal situation, we have 3 people working on a patient, where one nurse assists with a 400 dentistry, and the second nurse is the runner. Little Dicol one more time. Best used for central cement is to zinc oxide mixed with regional cement. Dry environment, because the environment has to be, it's called moisture control, and it prevents content of saliva to go into the filling, and the content of saliva contains bacteria which can reinfect the cavity. Bite again. When you bite, is it comfortable? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, rinse with the water over there and come back. Rinse with that water.
Okay, so that's it?
I want to check and be sure it's everything is intact. Okay. I'll give you the post-operative instructions. Okay, wonderful. You can see it's the white temporal filling. Okay. What you are to do, you're not to chew for the next 2 hours so that it heals, so that it hardens. Okay. Otherwise, if you chew within the next 2 hours, it will come out. It will not harden in this content that it is. Okay. And then you brush your teeth normally around it, but you avoid chewing or breaking bones with it. It's a temporal filling. It's doing a treatment. Okay. And then in a month's time, we'll review again to see whether it was entirely successful or whether we'll have to do something else. Okay?
Okay. So this takes like some 45 minutes or something of the sun?
45 minutes to have it done.
Okay, it's still a bit uncomfortable. I guess I'm getting used to...
because of the numbness.
Okay.
So you would have this situation of the numbness for the next two hours, for the next hour or two. Okay? I'm going to write some medications for you that I need you to take. Okay?
Sure. So this is for a month, and then I come back for a review.
You come back and we take the review is really meant to ascertain. I mean, actually, you're to come back in a month to change it to the permanent filling.
Okay.
But if within now to a month, because bear in mind the cavity was the restoration was mighty close to the hole. If you should be having some symptoms of pain, excruciating pain, then it means that the filling isn't entirely providing the healing that we need. So we may then have to do what we call a root canal treatment.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm breastfeeding, so is this entirely safe?
Okay. So as part of when I asked, is there any medical history?
Oh, I should have told you.
Those are one of the questions. Are you a breastfeeding mother?
Okay.
So being a breastfeeding mother, then I would have to change the medication.
So can I swallow whatever?
What's in your mouth? Saliva. Yes, you can.
It's just, I've kept it there. It's forming for a while now.
So
No, I have. I swallowed it.
Okay, I need to add some. Before we go outside, you tell me. I'll even complete.
Okay.
So, but I need you to take these medications 5 days.
5 days.
All right, and then that should be it.
Okay.
And then we see you in a month.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When you have a tooth decay, it occurs in 3 zones. You can have it occurring in the external enamel, the white layer, or it could go deeper into the dentin, which is the yellow layer where the nerves are, where if you should have a cavity in that zone, you start to develop sensitivity to foods and you cannot chew in that area. And then finally it goes into the 3rd zone, the pulp, where this time you cannot sleep at night and there's this throbbing pain that will not keep you, that will make sure that you run to the dentist for treatment at that point in time. But if it's in the external zone, you will not feel anything. But when you come in, if you're frequenting your dentist, they will repair with a permanent filling straight away before it even gets to the 2nd zone. If it gets into the dentin, because of the nature of the dentin, it's arranged like a pack of straws stuck together. So although you see that the filling, the cavity is up to this layer, it still has bacteria that has gone deeper. So a temporary filling is meant to follow the bacteria without the dentist having to cut deeper into the pulp. So it has medication in that will kill the bacteria, at the same time strengthen the pulp. After a month, you come back, when there's no pain, you come back, we take off the temporary filling and replace it with a permanent filling. That would ensure that now you can chew for the rest of your life with that issue. So in your case, you are going to do a temporary filling. After a month, it is working, it's just like a sieve that allows saliva and things to penetrate in. So that is why you're currently having the on and off condition of pain and all that. Had you gone back and taken out the temporary filling and replaced with a permanent filling, you wouldn't have had any problem. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been a painless experience of a temporal filling. It's the first stage after which when a client comes in with a case of tooth decay, it's the first stage we sometimes end up having to do a temporal filling to ensure that the bacteria remaining in the cavity is killed, as well as the strengthening of the pulp. This should last for a month. The filling material should last in the client's tooth for a month, after which if she doesn't come back complaining of pain, or if she doesn't call me within the month of pain and not being able to sleep, we then know that she would come in, would have to take out the temporal filling and place it with a permanent filling that will ensure that she can chew with the tooth for the rest of the month. Thank you very much for your attention.